The character progression is one of the most important pillars of successful storytelling. Character progression is what makes the audience emotionally attached to the characters in the story. It highlights the struggles characters face, emotionally invoke audience when characters grow or fail, and the changes construct a deeper meaning of the story. We have seen so many video game stories with great character progression. What makes the Plague Tale duology shine among other video game stories is that it places enormous emotional and moral weight on two little child characters and carried the game to the end of the story while showing that the characters' vulnerabilities and weaknesses make the experience feel real even in the fantasy settings. In this video, I'll walk through the key moments in Plague Tale Innocence and Plague Tale Requiem, exploring how their journey transformed them throughout the story. The first two chapters in Plague Tale Innocence do the heavy lifting to let the gamers know the current situation of the characters and the world around them. The game starts by introducing us to Amicia, a teenage girl from a royal family, and her little brother Hugo. Hugo has a mysterious illness that her mother is trying to cure. Due to this illness, Amicia and Hugo lived separately, which made them strangers to each other.
It's me. Your sister, Amicia?
Hello.
We haven't seen each other much. Mummy will be back soon.
Move! Come on!
Just after establishing that the siblings are strangers, the story takes away both of their parents. The family is attacked by the Inquisition army and their parents are killed. The opening of this story helps massively for the story to reach its heights. The stage is set in a way that it is impossible for them to get out of this situation. Amicia is suddenly dropped into this new reality where she has to survive while protecting her little brother without having any of the skills her mother possessed. This helpless start of the story is what made their character progression much more satisfying to experience. In the second chapter, the game opens up to its world. There is a plague spreading throughout the village and all the social orders have been fallen apart. Villagers are trying to find anything to put the blame on this plague. When Amicia and Hugo found a shelter in old lady's house, even though Hugo was saved by his sister, he was no longer satisfied with the safety and affection she could provide. At this point, Amicia is the only one who saw their parents' death. She is trying her best not to break this news to his little brother, but he's making it hard. Amicia does not have the skill to handle her brother calmly. Hugo pushes her patience to the breaking point, causing her to blurt out the truth in an outburst.
I want to see
Mummy is dead, Hugo! You'll never see her again. Or Daddy.
Amicia.
You're lying.
They were killed at the house. Both of them, so shut up.
Lying. I hate you.
Just after that, she realizes that she shouldn't have done it, but it was already too late because Hugo was running away from Amicia into the hands of angry villagers. This is where Amicia had to kill her first victim for survival. The game makes sure to let us know that taking the lives of others, even for survival, is not in these innocent siblings' blood. However, for survival, Amicia had to do it.
No, wait, we just want to leave. I didn't want to.
Amicia!
Hugo! I'm coming!
Amicia learned from her mistake and made things right with Hugo again. But do people in real life change their behavior after learning from just one lesson from a mistake? Most of the time, they don't. Throughout the game's story, these sibling characters have incremental progression, which make these characters more human. Because of this, as the player, we do not feel like they are disconnected from reality. Amicia's mother's last words are for her to take Hugo to a doctor she worked closely with. Amicia's mother believes that he can look after Hugo after her, but Dr. Laurentius was in his deathbed when Amicia reached him. Even though he provides insight to the illness, he can no longer help Amicia to cure his brother. All Laurentius could do was ask Amicia to continue their work and protect Hugo.
Ancient evil courses through your family's veins, in its blood. Your mother and I attempted to slow its progress, but ever since the Great Break, the process has quickened. You must protect him, Amicia.
Which is not what she wanted to hear. Hugo, who is processing this information, needed to get closer to Big Sister for affection and safety. But Amicia, out of sheer stress, pushes Hugo away. This again created distance between them, but Amicia quickly corrected her mistake to gain Hugo's trust. She understood that she needed to control her fears and stress to cure Hugo. As the journey unfolds, Amicia and Hugo are joined by a small but vital group of companions, each bringing their own strengths to the struggle. Lucas, the young alchemist apprentice, tirelessly searching for cure to Hugo's illness, offering knowledge no one else possessed. Millie and her brother Arthur lend their skill in stealth and quick thinking, often helping the group to slip out of impossible situations. Roderick, with his unwavering loyalty and brute strength, becomes the shield that protects them when force is the only option. This whole team works together to survive from the Inquisition army. Amicia deeply loves his brother and is ready to go to any length to cure him. She is prepared to protect him from any physical or emotional pain, but being too protective always causes more harm than good. That is exactly what happened when Arthur came back to the castle and broke the news that Amicia's mother was still alive and had been tortured in prison. At the beginning of the game, Amicia didn't exactly see her mother being murdered. Her mother closed the door, instructed her to protect his brother and go find Dr. Laurentius. After closing the door, a bloody sword came through the door, and Amicia put together that visuals as her mother being murdered. Turns out she was captured alive. Amicia in a position where she can be neither happy nor sad about the news. Even though she can be happy to know that her mother is still alive, that thought is overshadowed by the fact of how to break this news to his little brother. Her immediate decision was to hide this information from his little brother, even when Lucas insisted on letting Hugo know this because it might help him to beat the illness within him. But she was already too late because Hugo had already heard the news and his illness got worsened at that instant. Trust is the most important thing in any relationship. When it is broken, there is no room for growth. Amicia and her brother were strangers when the story started, but the challenges they have overcome so far brought them together. As any adult would commonly lie to protect their loved ones from heartbreak, Amicia hides the truth from Hugo. Hugo is also somewhat matured character at this point, took a different approach instead of outburst in anger. He calmly asked his sister whether he would see his mom again, to check if she would lie again. The next morning, Hugo was nowhere to be found. Even though Amicia has come a long way from being just a teenager, she is not capable of making the right decision under pressure. She learned from her past mistakes, but there is still so much more to learn if she wants to keep her little brother safe. After this incident, the game crafted one of the best dream sequences that captures the mental state of someone consumed by the overwhelming regret of their choices. At the end of this dream, Amicia understands more than anything that her brother needs the affection of his mother. While Amicia did a pretty good job so far, it is not enough to fill that hole in his brother. The plague tale Innocence concluded by drawing connection from the angry rat's plague to Hugo's illness. With this illness, Hugo gets the power to control plague-infested rats, but that is more of a curse than a blessing. Throughout the last few chapters, both characters experience the loss of their loved ones and learn to fight back for their survival. The emotional and physical pain never stopped them from moving forward for a better future. Because of that effort, Plague Tale Innocence had a happy ending with a lot of experience to survive in the new reality. A Plague Tale Requiem is a little bit weird game to analyze in the context of Amicia and Hugo's character progression, because even the game span over long hours, instances of Amicia and Hugo's character progression are roughly at the same level in Plague Tale Innocence. A Plague Tale Requiem has dedicated more hours to telling a solid story of the prophecy of an endless cycle. Most of the characters' emotions are evoked by the prophecy as they uncover it. This game spends more time sharpening the side characters, which is really helpful to add value to the game's story. However, because of that, we can go through Plague Tale Requiem faster than A Plague Tale Innocence. The story starts with Amicia and Hugo being in happy, calm environment. Hugo is having a good time playing with Amicia and Lucas, who is the only ally remaining with Amicia's family from the first game. But this happiness didn't last when they accidentally got into trouble due to a misunderstanding of some villagers. Just like in first game, Amicia and Hugo was placed in a situation where they had to fight for survival. Hugo used his power to save Amicia in this fight, which causes him to fall ill again. This fight escalated to the point where the villagers hunt them. Again, Amicia had to take the responsibility of protecting her entire family. These games make sure to highlight Amicia's mental state at this point in the game. She is not fearless and confident as she was in the first game. This reinforces the fact that Amicia and Hugo do not have inherently violent personalities, and they are still innocent even though they have taken other people's lives.
It's over. It's alright.
It's made clear that Hugo isn't the only one who's dreaming of peace. The whole family is searching for a life worth living, not just surviving. They are still on the journey of curing Hugo. Hugo's mother and Lucas are trusting the organization of alchemists called the Order to cure him. But Hugo keeps seeing this dream of an island with a pond which is capable of curing him. Amicia is leaning towards Hugo's dream rather than putting the faith in the Order. Plague Tale Requiem's story has given more attention to building side characters as much as the main characters. The great point of that has been highlighted is how Lucas calmed down Amicia when they stray away from the objective of curing Hugo. In this incident, Amicia's character takes a step back out of fear. This result, Lucas has been captured by the soldiers. Out of pure regret of letting slip down her responsibilities, she started to fight soldiers not for survival but to prove herself that she is fearless. This goes to show even someone like Amicia, who has been keeping her focus on the objective, could have shortcomings. In an event like that, having a strong side character could help navigate forward in the right direction.
Do you see the situation we're in? We were just supposed to get herbs. How do you think Hugo feels right now without them? How will he feel when his sister is
I
hanged?
made a mistake, right? I don't know what's happening to me, Lucas. I feel my mind going.
Yes, because this world hurts. And it keeps hurting. And you want to hurt it back. But it's a fight you cannot win, Amicia. You are not them. You are a Darun.
As Amicia suspected, the Order couldn't cure Hugo. This curing attempt ended up killing thousands of innocent people in the Red City. Even though Hugo has no control over this episode, he knows his illness is linked to this destruction of the town. Having to look back on the destroyed city with dead bodies make him hate himself. This is the very same town where Hugo enjoyed himself when he first arrived. This game designed to guide us to first experience the sense of security just to make us feel hopeless. Because of this, just like Hugo, players feel the weight of the consequence of wrong action and helplessness. After Amicia witnessed what a failed attempt to cure Hugo can do to people around them, she is determined to take the path of Hugo's dream rather than following the order. From here onwards, the game's story unravels the prophecy of a career just like Hugo. Along the journey, Amicia and Hugo are joined by Arnold, a battle-worn mercenary who is turned into a companion, and Sophia, a clever smuggler whose warmth and instincts guide them. Together they set out in the search of mysterious island that may hold key to Hugo's fate. If I were to summarize the story, they found an island with mountains just like in Hugo's dream. The islanders' religious beliefs is centered around a child, which make them welcoming to the island. Islanders are getting ready to celebrate the Child of Embers, a divine savior who brings prosperity to the island. Victor, the ruler of the island, and his wife Emily are devoted believers in this legend of the Child of Embers. Amicia explored the island with Hugo and Sophia. They found old ruins that tell the tale of a carrier who lived before them. Just like Amicia and Hugo, they lived happily till the Order came in and separated the carrier, Basilius, from his sister, the protector, Aelia. The Order kept experimenting on Basilius, not knowing the consequence of messing with the carrier's mental state. Thinking that his big sister was dead, Basilius reached the final threshold, which started the Justinian plague. It's turned out there is no potion or herbs to cure Hugo's illness. He needs to live a stress-free environment. The cure for illness is having a normal life. Within all of this, the only real moment of character growth I can highlight is when Amicia made up her mind to rescue Arnold when he attacked Victor. Amicia saw the happiness fades away from his brother's face as he lost once again the hope of being happy. When Hugo questioned himself about why happiness can't last in his life, Amicia decided to fight back for her brother's happiness instead of letting the things flow away as it is. It shows her character becoming more confident in taking challenges that do not have definitive answers. Just before Amicia leaves the island with answers, earlier separated Amicia's mother and Lucas found their way back to them. At this point, the island is covered with rats because Hugo lost his temper. Just like Red City, Lacuna, innocent, happy people have died by the very hand that once enjoyed the hospitality of the islanders. But in the midst of all this chaos, Amicia and Hugo are forced to return to the castle where their mother awaits. With all the incidents happening in the island, Victor and Emily have pieced together that Hugo is a special child. Emily's thirst for becoming a mother to a child and Victor's motivation to use Hugo's power to conquer the world made Hugo the Child of Embers to them. Blinded by their motivations, Emily killed Hugo's mother. This is where Hugo lost all his hopes, which he had fully given himself to the macula. Fortunately, Amicia and Lucas were able to pull him out. Amicia and Hugo had to move forward while being overwhelmed by the sadness caused by their mother's death.
She's never coming back.
I know.
I wanted to tell her a lot of things.
Me too. But she knew everything already. You were her greatest gift. She loved you the way you are, the way she made you. We will live. And we will heal. The scars? We keep them so that we don't forget. So that we can accept. Until they don't hurt anymore.
Victor, fueled by his wife's death, followed them and attacked to take revenge. He managed to kidnap Hugo and destroy Sophia's ship. Hugo saw Amicia take an arrow to her abdomen, which made him think his sister was dead. With all these incidents, just like Basilius, Hugo lost all hope and reached the last stage of the macula, not knowing his sister was still alive. This is where we can clearly see how repeated cycle of innocent people's death that he causes unwillingly made Hugo a different person. He has matured, surpassing everyone, ready to accept the reality. Hugo's voice come along, guiding Amicia to understand that no matter the willpower and bravery in life, there are some fights that you cannot win. That message is brilliantly conveyed through series of symbolic representation of fighting that he has been doing throughout the game. After Amicia understood that fighting was no longer an option, she gave up. Hugo showed all the damage he had done with the power he possessed. The evil and selfish few people he encountered on this journey pushed him to give himself fully into the macula. Hugo kindly asked her sister to stop him from doing more harm to the world by taking his life away. This is the morally correct decision to take after observing all the events so far. If you are a weapon that everyone can take advantage of, it's better to put the end to that life. Just like in prophecy, Hugo sacrifices himself to prevent another plague like Justinian plague.